Very good morning everyone. In our previous video we have completed three different topics, that is dynamic initialization of object, constructing two-dimensional array and dynamic constructor. In our today's session we are going to discuss the concept of MIL or advantages of MIL. So let us start with our today's session. I would like to show one program which is based on the constructor, and then I will explain the disadvantages of that particular constructor and how you can remove it using the concept of MIL. So for that, let us start with a DOS box. First of all, I want to show you the requirement of MIL. So for that, example of disadvantages of constructor need to include two header files, iostream.h and has include conio.h. One more point I want to add over here, that is an advantages of MIL. Now let me create one class called addition which contains two constructor. One is called parameterized constructor and other is called default constructor. Let me give comment line over here. Default constructor. How default constructor is created? With the help of name of class, I am able to create default constructor. A equals to 5 and B equals to 10. Now I want to create one parameterized constructor. Addition need to pass two values of variable, that is integer m and integer n. A equals to m and B equals to n. Now let us develop one method called display. After performing many programs which are based on these two topics, see over here we are just going to recall, right? Because this is a very simple program which we have already discussed in our previous videos, right? But I would like to just show you the demonstration regarding the disadvantages of constructor, and we can use the concept of MIL over it, right? So right now I have taken the same example to demonstration you for the same. \n addition is a plus b. This is a simple program which we have performed many times. CLR SCR and get ch. Now what we are going to do? We are going to create object of default constructor, or we are going to create the object of class. So addition A1, again also call default constructor addition A2. Now see what we perform. I have taken two object A1 and A2 which is of the same class addition. So what is the definition of default constructor? When you create the object of any class, in such cases it will call default constructor of that particular class. So in both the cases A1 and A2 it will call default constructor of class, and here A1 a1.a becomes 5. Similarly a1 dot b becomes 10. Similarly, when you create second object in the memory, at that time also a2 dot a contains the value 5 and a2 dot b contains the value 10. Now what happens next? Now we are going to call the display method for the same a1 dot display and a2 dot display. Let us save the program first. This is the program number 81, d81.c++. Let us execute the program. This is very easy program to understand. In both the cases, the value of a and b would be same. Now consider the situation where I am going to call a2 equals to addition. This way also the constructor can be called, right? We have in our previous topic we have seen this way to call the default parameterized constructor of class, right? So using the name of object, then equals to operator, then name of class, and you are going to pass the value into the list, parameter list, right? So this way also it is possible. Now a2 dot display. Now let us execute the code. In this cases the value of addition is 30. Why? Because we are going to pass the value of a2 object using parameterized constructor. So now what is the disadvantage in such cases? See, when you want to call parameterized constructor of any class, in those cases also it will first, when you create the object of that class, it will automatically consider the default constructor and they are going to initialize the value of variable by the default constructor. So unnecessary, this would becomes the wastage of time and efforts also, because see, that is the case when you want to call just the parameterized constructor and you want to initialize the value of class variable using parameters. In such cases also, first of all it will allocate memory using default constructor, right? So it becomes useless. So that is the disadvantages of constructor. That means when your class contains default constructor when your class contains default constructor as well as parameterized constructor, in such cases once you create the object of class, it will automatically call the default constructor of same class. So you need to be careful that for that you need to, when you call parameterized constructor, in those cases also the value which is initialized by the default constructor occupies the memory, which is the wastage of time and wastage of memory. So for that, that is the disadvantages of constructor. Let me give the comment line over here. When you call parameterized constructor, then the value initialized by default constructor will become useless. So which is wastage of time and memory. So we have concept of MIL, that is the limitation of constructor. Let me repeat this topic once again. I have created one class called addition, which contains addition of two numbers, that is A and B. I have created two constructor within the addition class. One is called default constructor, the other one is called parameterized constructor. I have also taken one UDF to display the addition of both numbers. Now what happens, first of all I have created two objects of the addition class, that is called A1 and A2, and I have called display method for the same. So in both the cases it will print 15 because the value of A is 5 and value of B is 10. So A1.A contains 5, A1.B contains 10, and A2.A contains 5, A2.B contains 10. So both will print 15 in these cases. Now consider the situation when you are going to call object A2 equals to, see this is the second way through which you can call parameterized constructor of the class. You need to write the name of object, then equals to, then name of class, and whatever the parameters you want to pass, that you can pass it over here. Now using this concept, let me explain that when you call parameterized constructor, in those cases whatever the values which has been initialized by the default constructor becomes useless in those cases. So for such purpose you are having the concept of MIL, right? So let me take one new file to demonstration regarding the MIL. The full form of MIL is member initialization list. This is the very much important full form. You need to write in the journal also, right? That what is the full form of MIL? Member initialization list. That is the full form of MIL. So let us consider first program which is based on the concept of MIL. Example of MIL, member initialization list has include iostream.h, has include conio.h. We are going to create one class called test. Take one variable integer I, then public keyword. Now see how MIL is initialized. You just need to write the way you are going to create the constructor, then into bracket integer x. See, this is the parameterized constructor, right? We have already used this way. Now what you need to do, you just need to create empty brackets, right? And over here you need to apply colon and whatever the variable. See, we are going to write in this way, in I equals to x, right? The left hand side of equal to operator is a part of class, and the right hand side of equal to operator is a variable which are coming from the argument list, right? So instead of initializing the variable inside the constructor, you just need to make a colon sign over here and then I variable into bracket x. So this is the concept of MIL. I am going to repeat this concept once again. We are going to create the constructor which is based on the test class. Then we are going to use integer data type and then x. Normally what we perform, I equals to x. In this way we are going to write in the parameterized constructor, but right now we are going to use the concept of MIL, that is member initialization list. So in such cases you just need to apply colon sign over here, then the name of local variable of class, in our case that is I, and then whatever the variable which we have declared inside argument, that thing you need to write in the bracket. So this is the syntax to declare MIL, that is member initialization list. Now simply we are going to declare UDF to display the data. Cout \n value of I and I, void main, clear screen, get ch. Let us create object of test class, and because we have declared it with the parameters, so we need to pass integer values and t1 dot display. Now output would be understood easily. d82.c++. See, output would be 10 naturally, but the execution would be different. Let us execute the program from the void main. It will clear the screen. After clearing screen, the object of test class is created, and we are going to pass the value from the test class, that is integer in our cases. Then 10 is cached inside x, and the value of I becomes 10 in these cases. So we have not used any default constructor over here, even though it will call the concept of MIL and it will display the value of I is 10. Now see, if you want to pass two values using the concept of MIL, right, such thing can also be possible. For that, let me save as this file d83.c++. I am going to save as the previous one. If you want to pass two values, then also you can use it using MIL. List of members to be initialized is written with constructor separated by a colon. That means when you want to pass two values, in those cases you want to separate it by colon and by the comma. So let me take one new variable I, j. Over here integer x, integer y. Over here you can separate it by the comma j of y. See, if you are not using the concept of MIL, in those cases you are going to write like this: I equals to x and j equals to y, right? But right now we have taken it as a concept of MIL. So I, j, integer x, integer y, colon I of x and j of y. That means whatever the value of x you are going to pass will be stored inside the variable I, and whatever the value you have passed using the value of y, it becomes the value of j. Now I need to print one statement inside this. So cout \n constructor using MIL, that message I want to print, and this concept is known as member initialization list. Now we need to print addition of I and j is I plus j. You can take a and b variable also. Then a, b, a of x, b of y, a plus b, a and b. That correction you can also make. Right now I have taken I and j variable, right? And now it's time to change in the void main. You just need to pass two values from the void main. 10, 20. The output is 30. In such cases, let us understand the code, whatever the program we have written in the D82, that means in our previous program, right? That program I have saved over here. Then what we perform, we are going to use two values using member initialization list. In such cases, what you need to do, you just need to declare two variables using integer. Then in the argument list, you need to take two integer. By the use of separating colon sign, you can separate the member initialization list value, and in this way, using comma, you can separate value of two variables. Now inside this particular constructor, I have used cout statement. So when this constructor is executed, in those cases it will print constructor using MIL. When I have passed 10 and 20 using T1, so it will fetch into the 10 for the X and 20 for the Y. 10 is going to store inside the value of I, and 20 is going to store inside the value of J. 10 plus 20, when you call the display function, it becomes 10 plus 20 equals to 30. So it will print addition of I and J is 30. So this is the concept of MIL. You just need to recall that why MIL is used. First of all, the full form of MIL is member initialization list. You can initialize the member of class variable using the concept of MIL. What is the requirement of MIL? See, by default, if your class contains default constructor or parameterized constructor, in those cases, even if the situation is such in which you want to use the concept of parameterized constructor, even though it will initialize the value of class variable using the concept of default constructor, so which is unnecessary, the wastage of time and memory. So that is the limitation of constructor over MIL. So for that, we are having the concept of MIL, using which you are able to initialize the value of class variable, but the syntax would be a little bit different. In our previous program, we have seen only one variable, integer variable. Over here we have taken two variables because I want to show that that variable can be separated by the colon. Suppose you want to take third variable, in such cases you can use Z, comma, K of Z. Over here you can declare K and I plus J plus K, I, J and K is, and you need to pass three values from the parameters. The output would be 60 in those cases. So in this way you are able to initialize the value of class variable using parameterized constructor, right? But what is the advantage? Over here we have not declared any default constructor. We have just used the concept of MIL to save the time as well as efforts as well as memory of occupied variable. And let us take the last concept, which is called destructor. This is the fourth program of our today's session, and this is the very much important topic regarding the constructor and destructor. Remember one thing, that this is the last program of our today's session, as well as over here we are going to complete the unit number 2, right? Classes and objects, constructor and destructor. So after completion of this program, we have completed unit number 2 and we are going to start unit number 3 from the next video, right? So be careful. See, the first and unit number 2 both are lengthy. right? But now all the 3 units are very much small, so we are going to cover approximately 60% of syllabus right now, right? So let me complete destructor first, and then we are going to discuss regarding few points. Example of destructor include 2 header file, iostream.h and has include conio.h, integer count equals to 0, class test public destructor test, instead of test let me do destructor. Let us create constructor count plus plus cout \n count is incremented and count variable destructor. Now see, this is the constructor. Let me explain the difference between constructor and destructor. Both are opposite, right? The name of constructor must be the name of class. Similarly, the name of destructor is also same as a class. See, in this way only I am going to create the destructor of class. But before that I need to use the sign of tilde. Tilde means what? See, you are having 1 number key from the desktop, from the keyboard, right? And beside that there is one key of tilde, right? So if there is a constructor, no need to use such kind of sign. But when you want to use the destructor, in those cases you just need to use tilde sign before the name of constructor. So both contains the same name as a class name, but you can bifurcate destructor with the tilde sign, right? So before destructor you just need to apply tilde sign. That is the first difference between constructor and destructor. Most IMP for the 5 mark question, right? So listen carefully. I am going to explain the difference between constructor and destructor, right? The both contains the same name as the class name, but constructor does not contain any sign, but destructor contains the tilde sign to declare the destructor. So that is the first difference between constructor and destructor. Now second difference, constructor is used to initialize the value of class variable, where what destructor is used to destroy the value which are initialized by the constructor. Whatever the value is initialized by the constructor, using destructor. Destruct means what? To destroy. Destroy means we are going to erase it from the memory. Now when constructor is called, when you create object of class, at that time constructor is called, no? So when destructor is called, like constructor is automatically called, similarly when the object is destroyed from the memory, at that time destructor is also automatically called. I am going to repeat the difference between constructor and destructor once again. What is the use of constructor? The first difference, constructor does not have any sign to declare, but the destructor has tilde sign to declare the destructor. That is the first difference. What is the second difference? Constructor is used to initialize the value of class variable, where destructor is used to destroy the value of whatever the variable initialized by the constructor. And third difference, that like constructor, destructor is automatically called, but when object is created, constructor is called. When object is destroyed, then destructor is called. Now let me write the code. Cout count is decremented, count and count minus minus. Don't worry, I will explain the program. Let me complete the program first. Clear screen and get ch. I am going to create one block, \n, outer block, destructor object d, d1, cout \n, inner block, destructor d2. Let me save the program first. This is the program number D91 regarding the destructor. Now see what happens. Let us execute code. See, outer block is printed, then count is incremented by 1, count is incremented by 2, inner block count is again incremented by 3 and count is decremented by 3. Now how this program is executed is very important as well as interesting. First of all, it will clear screen, then we have used cout outer block, so first line is printed outer block, that is okay. Now we have created two objects of destructor class, that is d and d1, so it will call default constructor of class. d.count becomes 1. See, over here we have declared this variable as a global variable. Now no need to declare why we have declared the global variable over here, because in our previous video we have discussed and we have taken the example for the same when we learn the concept of static. At that time only I have used global variables, right? So I'm not going to discuss it right now, but the count becomes 1 now when you call the object d, and it will print count is incremented by 1. So count is incremented by 1, right? Then what happens? Again we have created second object, so again count plus plus, count value is 1 in previous case, so it becomes 2 now and count is incremented by 2 is printed. Now what happens? We have put one bracket over here. After that it will print inner block, so again inner block is printed. See the fourth line. Then again we have created one object called d2, right? So again it will go inside the constructor. Count becomes plus plus, the value of count would be 2 in previous case, so count is incremented by 1, so count is incremented by 3 now, right? Now what happens? See, as I have told you that when the life of object is destroyed from the memory, how the life of object, see this d2 object is declared within this particular block, yes or no? So when this block is ended, at that time the life of this object is destroyed from the memory. So what happens? It will automatically call the destructor when you reach over here to complete this bracket, and inside that what we have written, count is decremented and we have printed the value of count is, it is 3 in the last cases, so it is 3 naturally. Now count minus minus, so count becomes 2 now, yes or no? count becomes 2 now using this statement. So what about this two object? See, if I want to see this two object output, right? Naturally the life of this two object is up till the void main, yes or no? So when void main is completed, at that time count is decremented by 2 and count is decremented by 1 is sorry, is printed on the screen naturally. So for that, see, if you want to see the output of this 2 also, how this 2 is erased from the memory, you need to perform Alt F5 to see the output again, right? When you perform Control F9, in such cases the count is decremented by 3 only printed. Why? Because the life of these two object is when you complete the void main. So if you want to see the output of that two object destructor, at that time you need to perform Alt F5 to see the output again. So count is decremented by 2 or count is decremented by 1. Let me simplify this code again. See, say for example, I am going to make again one block. So the life of this destructor, life of this D and D1 would be up till this block. So now you don't need to do Control Alt F5. See, you will see the output. Why? Because when this block is completed, at that time this two object will die from the memory, erased from the memory, and it will automatically call the default destructor of that class. Like constructor, destructor is also automatically called when the object is erased from the memory. So this is all about our today's session. Let me share the notepad file for the same. This is the first program of our today's session. Disadvantages of constructor and advantages of MIL. We have taken two constructor, default and parameterized constructor, one method which is called void display. The difference between these two would be what? When you create object, at that time default constructor is automatically executed and they are going to initialize the value of A and B in these cases. Let me scroll down. So to avoid such kind of problem, when you want to call parameterized constructor, at that time you can use the concept of MIL, because the value which has been initialized by the default constructor becomes useless, or we can say which is the wastage of time and memory. You need to write output of these all programs into your journal. This is the second program which represents the concept of MIL, member initialization list. This is the syntax which you need to follow when you use the concept of MIL. Instead of writing I equals to X inside the parameterized constructor, you just need to bifurcate it by the colon and then the name of class variable and the name of argument list variable. Let me scroll down the program. Very small program which represents the example of MIL. See, when it is asked in the exam, you can write the same program for the representation of MIL, or you can take this program also. I have taken two values. I have taken A and B over here. In our practical session, we have taken I and J. Both can be used. Whatever the name of variable you want to give, you can take it. This is the third program of our today's session, and the last program, which is the example of destructor. we have taken one global variable called count and I have initialized the value it by the 0. Then one default constructor I have created. Similarly, destructor is created. The difference between constructor and destructor is what? Tilde sign you need to make when you create destructor. Like constructor, destructor is automatically called, but when object is destroyed from the memory, at that time destructor is called. Constructor is used to initialize the value of class variable. Similarly, destructor is used to destroy the variables which are initialized by the constructor. Let me scroll down the program. Over here, the life of this D2 object would be up till this block. Similarly, if you want to see the output of D and D1 object, in those cases you can apply the brackets to see the output of this two object destructor also. So this is all from my side. This is more than enough for our today's session. Over here we have completed unit number 2. In our next video we are going to start with the unit number 3, that is the concept of operator overloading and type conversion, and the most IMP concept, that is called inheritance. Practical based programs which may ask in the practical exam, so you need to be careful regarding such. This is all from my side. Stay home, stay safe. Goodbye everyone. Thank you all.